It is his birthday.
Good afternoon to Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Thank you for tuning in. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Greeting everybody as usual. Good afternoon, Ricardo. Faye Weller says, hello, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here watching in the cold in Florida. I hope you'll stay warm. Hope we've been able to warm you up with the sounds of Jamaica. Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and viewers. Good afternoon, Inez Ayona Campbell. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And let's see who else is on board. Remember the numbers to call 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. So you got the Spanish. Let's see if we can give you the French. C'est mercredi le 20 décembre 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Though he was young, they say, he was no stranger. Jesus was born today, sing that song. Born in a manger, yeah. Though he was young, they say, he was no stranger. Jesus was born today, born in a manger, born today. Though he was young, they say, he was no stranger. Jesus was born today, born in a manger.
Thank you so much. Welcome on this, the 354th day of 2023, which means it's just about 5 days before Christmas and 11 days left in the year. And let's make the most of it from here on in and beyond. But of course, one day at a time, one step at a time, as we continue to give thanks for the gift of life. Good afternoon to those listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112 whatever is on your mind, whether it be Christmas or everything else. We're giving you an opportunity to express yourselves as usual, as we love to do on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, you get more time on this program to express yourselves. Now we have to, going forward, measure just whether you're taking the extent to which you, our faithful listeners, are taking advantage of the time that you have, the extra time to express yourselves. If that's not the case going forward, then we'll have to continue to do the research that we've always done and share all relevant facts and data and information, and of course feature our guests from all over the world. So it could quite well become a universe of everything. In the meantime, though, we continue to celebrate the season and remind ourselves of the importance of ensuring that we are extra careful, super careful, as we go about maneuvering the motor vehicles and the other vehicles for that matter, and how we manage ourselves in such a way that we are able to enter and exit the environment in a safe way. And so we look forward to your participation, as we have said, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. All right, let's give you a quick roundup of the stories that are trending on the Gleaner's website. That's the Jamaica-Gleaner.com. The Gleaner's website looks rather festive. All kinds of crawlers and streamers and lights and pictures and all kinds of excitement on the Gleaner's website, Jamaica-Gleaner.com. So here's some information you might find useful. Party organizers, and we're not talking political parties here, but party organizers must get requisite permits. That's the word from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. Let it not be said that you didn't know. We're putting the information out there, and it has always been the case that if you're the organizer of a party, that you ensure that you get the requisite permits before you buy a single bottle of liquor. You make sure you sort out what needs to be sorted out with the municipal corporation. So organizers of parties for the Christmas holiday season are being reminded to apply for the requisite permits before staging these events. Ahead of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF Corporate Communications Unit, the head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent of Police, SSP Stephanie Lindsay, told a think tank on Monday, the think tank was on December 14, that it is important for all parties involved to be aware of these events. so that the necessary safety precautions and assessments can be done by the police. You need to get a permit from the local authority, such as the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation or the parish department. For some events, you need a certificate from the fire department. You also need to make contact with JCAP, that's the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors, and Publishers Limited. Why? Why do you need all of that? Because this is people's work. All the music that we play is music that was created by authors, composers, publishers, etc., etc., etc. And so you also need to make contact with JCAP, that's the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. Why? Because during these times, we use up people's intellectual resources. And it doesn't come cheap. That's just how it is. This is people's creativity that produced the recordings. And for as long as they live, and even long after they make the transition out of this world, their work is still to be accounted for. And for generations to come, that will be the case. Just as for generations ago, from as far back as whenever, when I think it was two fellows in a bar, and I don't remember the story right now, but essentially it was in that moment that the idea of intellectual property and related matters emerged. And we have what we now have, where we have different organizations that ensure that people's intellectual property is taken care of. So you might think they're trying to make it hard for you to keep your party or whatever other event, but no, they're just helping to secure the rights and earnings of those who have produced these marvelous works that we celebrate even now.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
Wanna be one of the 24 winners of 100 grand. We are getting more in a 2024. Love my Western Union. Collect 2 or more money transfers from any Western Union location or with the GK1 app. In the app, transfer money to your wallet for a chance to win. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Gaming Industries Act.
Steelcraft Limited offers grills, gates, stainless steel rails, hand trolleys, and much more. The staff takes pleasure in extending season's greetings to all customers, wishing you and your family a peaceful season. And as the new year approaches, they look forward to serving you even more. May the spirit of good cheer and love abide in your home this season. From Steelcraft Limited, celebrating 50 years.
Oh,
Jesus was born today, born in a manger. And though he was young, they say he was no
my
stranger.
tickets. You have.
Yeah,
Well, you.
Oh,
All right. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices, all over the world. And so here's some more information. We're not trying to spoil the party. We're just sharing the facts so that everybody wins, everybody benefits. That's the idea. So let's go on a little more. So the police investigations also involve doing checks on the just a moment, please. All right, we're coming back to that in just a moment. But where did we stop? So SSP Lindsay said, well, she further informed that the police investigations also involve doing checks on the promoters to ascertain the level of threat or risk that may surround the individual. And if there are any risks or threats that could arise in the event that they host this event, she says they have to take all those things into consideration. Once they have fulfilled all the requirements by law, then they will get the various permits in writing with some conditions to go ahead and host the event. Listen up once again. The police can legally grant permits for events to be held during the week between Sunday and Thursday up to 12 a.m. and on Fridays and Saturdays up to 2 a.m. There are some events that fall under certain categories under the Ministry of Culture, which are seen as national events that receive special arrangements to go beyond 2 a.m. Those extensions cannot be granted by the police. For the record, we're going to repeat, for the record, for those events managers, event creators, etc., anybody putting on a major event, a significant event outside of a small gathering at their respective places of abode. So if you're going to put on events, whether I would say not micro events necessarily, but I would say from small up. So if bear this in mind, that the police can legally grant permits for events to be held during the week between Sunday and Thursday up to 12 a.m. and on Fridays and Saturdays up to 2 a.m. There are some events that fall under certain categories under the Ministry of Culture, which are seen as national events that receive special arrangements to go beyond 2 a.m. Those extensions cannot be granted by the police. And we'll leave it there for now. Perhaps the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport can give you further details. But we have shared some basic information where events, especially at a time such as this, are concerned. Let's see. Here's another story. We have seen so many of these over the years of someone being imprisoned and afterwards found innocent. Oklahoma judge rules a man who wrongfully spent nearly 50 years in prison for murder is innocent. You see why we can't fool around with people's rights and freedoms? Oklahoma judge rules a man who wrongfully spent nearly 50 years in prison for murder is in fact innocent. Let's read a little more. An Oklahoma judge has exonerated a man who spent nearly 50 years in prison for murder, the longest serving inmate to be declared innocent of a crime. Glynn Simmons, 71 years old, who was released in July after prosecutors agreed that key evidence in his case was not turned over to his defense lawyers, was ruled innocent on Tuesday. The court finds by clear and convincing evidence that the offense for which Simmons was convicted, sentenced, and imprisoned was not committed by Simmons, according to the ruling by Oklahoma County District Judge Amy Palumbo. Simmons served 48 years, 1 month, and 18 days since his conviction, making him the longest imprisoned U.S. inmate to be exonerated, according to data kept by the National Registry of Exonerations. Simmons said afterward that he feels vindicated after his time in prison that included initially being sentenced to death row. Can't play with people's life. Simmons has maintained his innocence, saying he was in Louisiana at the time of the 1974 slaying of Carolyn Sue Rogers inside an Edmond liquor store. He and co-defendant Don Roberts were both convicted in 1975 of the murder and initially sentenced to death. Their sentences were reduced to life imprisonment or to life in prison in 1977 after U.S. Supreme Court rulings related to capital punishment. Roberts was released on parole in 2008. Palumbo in July ordered a new trial for Simmons after District Attorney Vicky Behenna said prosecutors had failed to turn over evidence in the case, including a police report that showed an eyewitness might have identified other suspects in the case. Behenna in September said there is no longer physical evidence in the case against Simmons and announced she would not retry him, though she opposed declaring him actually innocent. A spokesperson for Behenna declined immediate comment on Wednesday. The ruling makes Simmons eligible for up to $175,000 in compensation from the state for wrongful conviction and opens the door for a federal lawsuit against Oklahoma City and law enforcement involved in Simmons's arrest and conviction, defense attorney Joe Norwood said Wednesday. Compensation, though, is likely years away, Norwood said, and Simmons is currently living on donations while undergoing treatment for cancer that was detected after his release from prison. What a thing. What a thing. He's having to live off of GoFundMe. That's literally how the man is surviving right now. Paying rent, buying food, Norwood said. Getting him compensation, and getting compensation is not for sure, is in the future, and he has to sustain himself. We have to be careful when we are placed in judicious positions, that we are in fact judicious in our actions. Otherwise, people will people's lives will be forever changed. So that's another of the stories trending. Also, U.S. Customs agents nab significant number of Caribbean migrants. Please, let there be no Jamaicans in this. Please, not this time. What do we have here? Let's see. The United States Customs and Border Protection, CBP agency, said 1,086 Caribbean migrants had been apprehended between December 1 and December 14 this year. CBP said that they were detained during exercises involving its Air and Marine Operations, AMO, Southeast Region, U.S. Coast Guard, Homeland Security Task Force Southeast, as well as local and international law enforcement partners. On December 1, 63 migrants were detained near Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, on a dangerously overloaded vessel with 2 pregnant women among those apprehended. According to the CBP, on December 5, the Miami Air and Marine Branch and Jacksonville Air and Marine Branch multi-role enforcement aircraft crews located multiple smuggling vessels near Turks and Caicos Islands. The crews communicated the location to an Operation Bahamas Turks and Caicos UPBAT team, who coordinated for Turks and Caicos Islands Maritime Police to conduct the interdiction. Partner nation maritime teams apprehended 306 migrants over multiple events in a single day, working with air and marine operations air crews who conducted aerial monitoring, said the CBP, adding this event accounts for nearly 30% of apprehensions in the first 2 weeks of December. In another encounter on December 11, the authorities said they apprehended another 306 migrants. This event highlights the cooperation between air and marine operations branches. Air crews from Jacksonville and Miami continued to work together throughout the day to keep eyes on suspicious vessels in order to guide maritime units to their location, said Drew Jellison, Director of Air and Marine Operations, Jacksonville Air and Marine Branch. I don't want to talk too soon, but I don't see the word Jamaica or Jamaican. And I would imagine that means you don't have a story. If there's no Jamaican, and if there's nothing said about Jamaica. Anyway, we are happy for that relief. That, well, up to this point, we don't have any information directly citing Jamaicans. So we shall move on. Thank you very much, Gleena, for keeping us up to date. Police constable. All right, let's take the break and come back.
I'm so glad to see you listen to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:46 on Power 106.
Mosquitoes will breed in containers that hold water. Tightly cover water storage containers.
Yeah, man, no problem. I'll message her.
With cooking oil. Punch holes in all tins, plastic containers, and boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover old tires or fill with dirt. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs and dispose of garbage by placing in plastic bags. Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Save big this Christmas. Christmas as you shop for yourself, family, and friends at J.M. Patel and Company. Get a wide range of household and haberdashery items, a large selection of beautiful spreads, sheet sets, window, kitchen, and shower curtains, bathroom sets, area rugs, and much more. Don't miss this great opportunity for savings. J.N. Patel, 98 Orange Street, Kingston. Telephone 922-2959.
And though he was young, they say he was no stranger.
Good afternoon to Cheryl Chensu. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Thanks for sharing with us daily enlightening information. We try, Cheryl Chensu. Jessica says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. It's another sad day today as my friend died this morning. We're so sorry to hear that. Condolences. And we know that friend as well. And but we don't have any information from the family to publicly share that information. But our condolences to those who have lost loved ones. Condolences going out to the family members at home and abroad. In due course, we will share the information if we have permission to do that. But we convey our condolences. Continuing here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And we also have a bit of information here with respect to, hold on. Right, so it seems we have had a history over the years, the decades, when it comes to elections. We seem to enjoy elections that take place during the Yuletide season. So, for example, in 1949, the Jamaica Labour Party won the second general elections held under universal adult suffrage, taking 17 seats to 14, won by the People's National Party. So 17 seats to the Jamaica Labour Party, 14 to the People's National Party in 1949. PNP President Norman Manley won a seat in the House for the first time. For thousands in the corporate area, the results were known from a 20-foot high election blackboard erected at the Kingston Racecourse, now known as National Heroes Park. This 20-foot high election blackboard was erected at the Kingston Racecourse by the Daily Gleaner, on which was written the results as they were telephoned from the newspaper's editorial office. You see where we're coming from in terms of relaying election information. Somebody had to be making phone calls and the information being put on that 20-foot high election blackboard at Racecourse, which is now known as National Heroes Park. And every half hour, there was a fireworks display, and rockets were shot in the air each time a result was announced. So that was early communication in Jamaica's history. That's how we communicated election results in 1949. Still in 1949, JLP leader Alexander Bustamante registered a smashing victory in the South Clarendon constituency to pile up the biggest majority in the second general elections under universal adult suffrage. He defeated his main opponent, S.G. Beresford of the PNP, by over 10,000 votes. Bustamante was the former member of the House of Representatives for West Kingston, where the JLP's Hugh Shearer had now been defeated by the PNP's Ken Hill. PNP President Norman Manley had to be content with a modest victory of just 1,000 votes, but had the satisfaction of defeating Edward Fagan, who humbled him in the 1944 general elections. The JLP won 17 seats, the PNP 13, and 2 were won by independents. That's INDEPENDENTS, as in independent individuals, such as, and these 2 independent candidates who won their seats were Harold Allen in East Portland and Scott. What Scott was it? I'm not seeing the other portion of this information that we have here. Which Scott was this? Let's see if we can. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? All right. Well, there were two independent candidates who won their respective seats. We'll have to go back into the archives and adjust that bit of information. Also, so the other problem we have had, the other perennial problem, is the incidence of road crashes, collisions, and fatalities. And so in 1958, here in Jamaica, to dramatize and bring to the public's attention the high number of what used to be called accidents, deaths, persons injured, and other traffic statistics, the police traffic department erected a clock board at the corner of King and Tower Streets in Kingston, on which was written, "A Merry Christmas if you live to enjoy it." So this was part of the public education with respect to crashes and collisions in Jamaica, to dramatize and bring to the public's attention the high number of accidents, deaths, persons injured, and other traffic statistics. The police traffic department erected a clock board at the corner of King and Tower Streets in Kingston, on which was written, "A Merry Christmas if you live to enjoy it." A Merry Christmas if you live to enjoy it. So that was another blast from the past in terms of Jamaican history as captured in our current affairs. So there's the political bit. There is the outside of the politics, there's the subject of road safety, which is as perennial as the grass. And so that is captured as well in the archives, the Gleaners archives. And so let's go down the line and take you to another point. And 1963, P.J. Patterson was admitted to the Jamaican bar by Mr. Justice Moody on an application by Barrister Vivian Blake. Patterson returned to Jamaica from the United Kingdom 6 days earlier after graduation from the London School of Economics in June with the LLS honors degree. And let's go farther afield. 1963, more than 2 years after the Berlin Wall was constructed by East Germany to prevent its citizens from fleeing its communist regime, nearly 4,000 West Berliners were allowed to cross into East Berlin to visit relatives. Under an agreement reached between East and West Berlin, over 170,000 passes were eventually issued to West Berlin citizens, each pass allowing a one-day visit to communist East Berlin. It closed again on the 6th of January, 1964. Of course, that changed eventually. What's the name of the, the fellow who was told to tear down the wall? Tear down that wall. Yeah. So that Berlin Wall speech was delivered by United States President Ronald Reagan in West Berlin on the 12th of June, 1987. The speech is commonly known by a key line from the middle part: "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." That was US President Reagan calling for the General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, to dismantle the Berlin Wall. So that's another bit of the history. When we come back from the break, we'll have more, and we're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5.
He was no stranger.
Yes, please do.
Telephone 876-929-8824 or visit 14 Carvalho Drive, Kingston 10.
He has set me free. If I will believe, I'm so glad to see.
Oh, we did. Okay. Okay.
Jesus was born today. Oh, how we praise him.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Let's see if we can clear some of your messages now. We haven't, have we? We haven't touched any of the messages since this afternoon. I don't think so. So we're going to do that right now. And Audrey Williams of the Jamaica Public Service Company says, thanks, Dervan. I will follow this up. And this is a matter impacting a JPS customer. So thank you very much, Audrey Williams, for being your usual efficient self, and to the other members of the team. Thank you. Let's see who else is messaging us as we go up the line of messages. Online discussion. So you are invited to an online discussion on People of Faith United Against Gender-Based Violence and Family Violence, Call to Advocacy and Intervention, Called to Be Equipped. So this is happening tomorrow from 2 to 5. Tomorrow, Thursday, the 21st of December, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And the presenters, the panelists, Dr. Anriana K. Jalsa, Sheikh Shahid Mohammed, the Reverend Sinara Dubé Khan, and Father Sean Major Campbell. For those who are interested, RSVP, there is a link that you can click once this flyer is circulated. But if you want to speak with somebody, you can call Patricia Donald Phillips, 876-455-3650. 876-455-3650. That's Patricia Donald Phillips. We get a lot of information on this device. So sometimes if we don't clear, then we'll be overwhelmed. Here's a message. Good morning, sir. Well, it's afternoon, unless this message wasn't meant for us. I have attached 2 greetings below. Can you do the recording, voice note today, and send to me, please? Who is this now? Believe in the magic of the holidays, which is quite simple, loving each other. It's Christmas time. No matter how near or far you are, stay strong, be positive, and may all your heart's desires be granted. Happy holidays from the Power 106 FM family. And let's see how that goes. And let's go up the line. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. And there's so many events being promoted. So many. Barry One Love sends us a link. But we are not into the business of just opening any and every link, but we'll see. Franklin McDonald says, apologies, the link to the Battle of Jerusalem. Season's greetings. I tried to send you a link to the Battle of Jerusalem or Battle for Jerusalem. I campaign 106 years ago, in December 1917, the British Western Regiment, with many members from Jamaica and other islands in the Caribbean, played an active role in this campaign and the crucial battles. You will see from the link that they are given credit for the role, and you may also want to Google the history of the British West Regiment. This is the same regiment which literature, something is missing, mutated just a year later. Apologies, the link to the battle for Jerusalem was, of course, in reference to the British West Indian Regiment. Thank you, Mr. MacDonald. All the best. Here's a lady we haven't heard from in a long time, Hermin, otherwise known as June. Miss June in Oslo, Norway. Good to hear from you. She says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year when it comes from June in Norway. Many happy returns to you and yours, June in Norway. Thank you very much for your message. Leo Gilling of the Jamaica Diaspora Task Force Action Network says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Please help me congratulate these hardworking volunteers. Click the link below and read about them. Well, we should be able to do more than that. We should be able to feature their work. How about that? There is an opportunity, and it's quite a few of them. For example, Dr. Sharika Dakers, who chairs the Tertiary Task Force and chair of the 2023 Education Summit and Gala, masterful in planning and delivering the 8th annual event to South Florida, taking on all aspects of the one-week event, including collaboration, coordination, and leading her team to a successful conference and gala. She's described as a visionary who left no detail unturned and dedicated time to ensuring the success of all phases of the week's activities. She's an exceptional volunteer who made the work easy for everyone. Congrats, Sharika. Also, Dr. Sherry-Ann Demetrius. Dr. Demetrius not only led her task force admirably, but collaborated with the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, in coordinating and providing conference content for their 5-day event. She also skillfully led the development of the content and program for the successful JD Tan Education Summit and Gala. She is an exceptional volunteer who made work lighter for everyone on her team and delivered the program's contents with grace and devotion. Congrats, Dr. Demetrius. And then there's Dr. Angela Wright. Dr. Wright is a dedicated and committed volunteer who led her team in ensuring that the on-the-ground plans for the reception, education summit, and grand gala were executed flawlessly. They did. She knew her role and executed them along with collaborating, coordinating, and hosting. Dr. Wright is a joy to work with. I look forward to her continued leadership in the upcoming years. She's an exceptional volunteer who leads not just from the front, but also from within. Well done, Dr. Angela Wright. We're saluting as well Antoinette Brown, Dr. Antoinette Brown. I beg your pardon, not fully doctor. She hasn't completed the program just yet, but she's a PhD candidate. Antoinette Brown. She took a JD Tan customized communication and technology project from the ground, chose her team, and built it from scratch. We're seeing the benefits of her work and looking forward to a grand entry into 2024. She also is diligent, patient, and statistical in her approach to building out the Google platform and the interface from the bottom up. She's an exceptional volunteer who cares for and protects the JD Tan brand relentlessly. Thank you, Antoinette, and congratulations. Next up, Ms. Roy Main Robinson. She has been a stable force as a Jamaican volunteer liaison and the guiding light for JD Tan education intervention. She's diligent, dedicated, and an experienced educator who provides practical solutions to problem solving. These are important skills in the delivery of customized and needs-based professional development solutions in our homeland. This year, Roy Main energized and led more than 20 educators from the parish of St. Thomas to the 8th Annual Education Summit. She's an exceptional volunteer and teacher. We revere her work and her skills. Thank you, Ms. Robinson. And we join the Jamaica Diaspora Task Force Action Network, JD Tan, in congratulating all the volunteers for sharing their expertise, knowledge, and know-how in the interest of Jamaica, land we love. So here's something to look forward to now in 2024, the JD Tan Education Summit and Gala, featuring a reception, opening session, panel discussions, presentations, school tours, and grand gala. The venue, University of Miami, Florida. The date, the 28th of May through June 1st, 2024. So from the 28th of May to the 1st of June, 2024, the JD Tan Education Summit and Gala. And the highlight, 200 plus educators from Jamaica and the Caribbean. And JD Tan conveying Christmas greetings of joy and peace for the rest of the season and beyond. Thank you very much, Leo Gilling and the JD Tan team. Well done, and all the very best. More in a moment.
Jesus was born today, born in a manger. And though he was young, they say, he was no stranger.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Lock, Safe, and Vault is a company serious about safety and security. We wish for our faithful customers a safe and peaceful Christmas and a new year filled with new possibilities, while we continue to serve you with professionalism and enthusiasm. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
I love the smell of Christmas pudding and cakes. And kitchen baking and accessories at Brooklyn Supermarket has everything for baking, including ingredients, spatulas, baking tins of different sizes and designs, decorating sets and stencils, foreign fruits, nuts, cake mixes, the latest techniques for sugar-based cake decorating, and oh, so much more. So visit Kitchen Baking and Accessories in the Brooklyn Supermarket, Twin Gates Plaza, Constant Spring Road this Christmas and have fun baking.
Find it hard to sleep tonight.
Jesus was born today.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. So we've been looking back at some of the happenings in Jamaica and elsewhere in the world and drawing some comparisons in terms of the areas covered. So, for example, election time at Christmas time. So we have seen that in the archives, 1944 and 49, and we also take note of the concerns about road fatalities. There's that as well, especially at this time of year, and we saw the story from the archives with respect to the number of fatalities and just begging and beseeching the road users to be careful, and reminding us this was their tagline in 1958: "A Merry Christmas if you live to enjoy it." And that to some other stories. There's one having to do with agriculture. Usually at this time of year too, we have discussions and debates about our agricultural sector. Will we have enough of this or enough of that? Well, on this day in 1964, the Agricultural Marketing Corporation rushed an order of 8,500 pounds of Jamaican food crops by air freight to Dane food stores of Shepherd's Bush in London. Yes, on this day in 1964, the Agricultural Marketing Corporation, the AMC, rushed an order of 8,500 pounds of Jamaican food crops by air to Dane food stores of Shepherd's Bush in London. We'll tell you more about this shipment in just a moment.
He was no stranger.
busy, you know. That's
Busy is good.
so yeah, man. You know, when you read the serve God, you know, it promised that I go fix up a way that sometimes you don't have time to scratch your head.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
But I tell you, man, that song.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, in a Dervan, what's happening in the country, man, you know, it pain my heart, man. In the heart, because what I'm seeing now, young men, they get from prison, you know, and they want to work, want to live big, you know. The problem, but sometimes I saw the lack of vision of the leader them because I'm going to give you an example. I'm living here in poorest Manchester, and what I saw the other day, some people who work on the road, you know, they pushing, but they put that over here. So I noticed that they just come and give the people some work, and the people cut the grass, and by next week the grass grow up. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I was saying the other day, I spent some money on the road. Yeah.
Hold a moment, please. Tell us some more about that after the break. One moment.
I'm so glad to see
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
I'm so glad to see it is his birthday. Happy birthday. Jesus was born today. Oh, how we praise him. Shepherds and wise men say they will adore him. Mighty love has he, just for you and for me. I'm so glad to see it is his birthday. Oh, it's his birthday. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Jesus was born today, born in a manger.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Are you still there? Hello?
Yes, Dervan.
Yeah.
So I was saying, the way the country going, you know, because sometimes I saw where a lack of leadership. And I'm going on to tell you that the other day, it's some work over here. I'm living in Spring Grove in Port, some miles from the town. And my road that I drive on is a parish council road. I have to fix it 2 times. I spend a couple thousand well, and the other day again, hard rain come, I have to spend my own money again and fix the road. And I don't get any help. So I saw the council, I believe, Miss Marant council, and the MP from him with I really see him here. I don't know if he's an MP here, but when I look at it, come and
send money, bush the road. And the next week, the rain fall and next week, grass will grow back. I was saying, Mr. Dervan, if it would be better if them get the money and buy some and give us the cement and the mall and let us fix the road, patrol them. And pay the people the money, we fix it that way. If it wouldn't last in more, we can't fix it up about 2 years now and fix it. And it's stand up, so I was saying, sir, if it was more wiser, we didn't give persons the money to patch the road, the mall and the cement. Hello?
I don't know. That remains to be seen whether there is enough evidence of responsible actions being taken in repairing the road.
But I just say, Mr. Dervan, my road here, everybody can see the police drive, everybody taxi. And when rain fall, you can't come down my road here. Because you skid, and when we fix it, you drive here anytime. And my little money, I not have a lot of money. And what I've seen, sir, because of lack of knowledge, Mr. Dervan, with the young men and women in the community, the leaders you have here, like the councillor, they don't come in and have meeting. And then they would have bring the people together where you have even a ball field, put up a thing, you have a ball field and get them together active in sport and all them things, and let them can learn like a trade of heart, come in with some project. But I haven't seen anything like that, sir. The only thing I saw where the young men, them and the women, they have no leadership, so I try to do things, and most of the time the things them do, is not really the right thing. But I saw really lack of leadership because the leaders to come in and bring them together. I don't see where they have any vision. And just come in and say, we vote. But Mr. Dervan, I set out with them because if they ever come to my place, they never vote. Because I don't see the reason why they go vote for people where, see them turn up and walk in a community and meet the people and bring the people together and all that thing. So the purpose the voting things are.
Well, the politicians will always have their judgment day at some point or another.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Yes, because the people I tell you, I don't know. Over here where I live, and then we could give an invitation to come, but for us. I don't know if you could, the community, Mr. Dervan, you couldn't visit the community them with some broadcast, like, come and talk to people then. Let them invite you. That not possible, sir? Get some sponsor and go in the community there.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. We could discuss it with the team and see what's possible going forward.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can in Poros and Spring Grove, come in, man, and sometimes people them don't really have nothing much, them are suffer, but if somebody come and talk to them feel good. Even in Christmas now, in Christmas season, you come with a couple of sponsors and you carry little things and give the people them, and them feel good. Them don't really have anything, but some people why them so them hopeless sometimes them desperate and them will see somebody will come and talk to them. They know that they have hope, but when you go to people and them trick you, continue to trick you, people them get wicked and hopeless.
Can't allow anybody to trick you in this day and age, though.
Yes, sir?
Can't allow anybody to trick you in this day and age. This is the age of enlightenment.
But it's not right. See that it's them doing it. Because right now you have PNP, you know.
Well, if you give them permission, they will do it. If you give them permission, they will do it. If you insist that they do better than that, they will have to, especially since they are desperate for the vote.
Yes, sir. But a man like me and you, Mr. Dervan, we are working, man, so you know them can't come and trick me. But some people will not work and all them things, and then give them a little beer and little liquor and so on, and them feel, you know, them trick them. But like we are used to them can't come with them things because they don't look nothing for nobody themselves. But them people them can work, man. You vote for them if
We need to hold them accountable.
Yes, sir.
We need to hold them accountable. That's what we need to do.
Yes, man. Because right now, you have the PNP now with them. And say them desperate will come in. We do better. And you remember, the reason why they vote them out, them say them never look good. So them vote in this one. And this one, you know, and if this one come out, the same thing that them coming with. So if people will stop these things, people trick them, man. You know, good to like people. Because them now go to better. If the other one come, the same thing. This one is the same.
Well, what is
yes?
What is clear is that it's a situation where you have two groups of people, so to speak, and each group is positioning itself as the group to better manage the affairs of the country. So the resources of the country will not change dramatically. The features, etc., will not change dramatically. And so those who seek to lead, and there's a quotation that starts like that, those who seek to lead but fail to manage will become either irrelevant or dangerous, not just to their organization, but to society.
I tell you, say you're good, sir, because you explain it the right way. Because when them people come in and them fail to manage them, man, them destroy themselves because them set up themselves, them have always all over preparing and all them things. Like this country, I don't know the name, it collapsed and some brother who run it, some family, and them just fly out and gone, and the people them living on the problem. But you know, we have to have leaders, but why? You can't see a trick yourself, you must wise up, man.
No, they shouldn't. Nobody should be tricking you. Nobody should be tricking you at that level, though. At that level, you're thinking. You're thinking is an catch who you?
Catch you already, sir. So, no, I'm saying them catching people already. The people must have sense. Them do it already, so that's why they'll come again. You know, so both of them. Them are coming and say them trick you already.
No, well, if you stand for nothing, then you will fall for anything. You have to stand for something and insist that your questions are answered, that you are given sound responses and sharing thoughts and ideas that are obviously sound. It can't just be some little joke, rumbar joke and whatever. It has to be much more than that, to the point where you are reasoning. No, I have to be able to reason. Yeah, well, I have this thing where I say I am not into the big tags on clothes and shoes and hats to show, because what you are doing actually is using your body as a billboard, and you're not getting 1 cent for that. You're not getting 1 cent. So when you go ahead and promote other people's shoes and other people's clothes and other people's accessories, etc., and you are not doing that as a business, you're not generating any revenue. So if you're not doing that, then you are using your body as a billboard. And I know our people have this thing about brands, and you want to wear the brand and so on. Who is paying you to wear the brand? If you're not getting paid to do it, then you don't need to. You find something else to wear. Mm.
I tell you, I don't know why we black people if we don't have no sense in what. As you say, we don't make people chicken, man. We feel it wise up now, man. Wise up and rise up.
Yeah.
You know, and tell you the truth, you know. Because we live a spring road here and a 20 a year, and while we can't find something where we really help. And the whole porous, so you look at what porous right now. I living here. Came here about when I was
well, we might not have time to go any further because we've been on for a little while now. So
just cut the last time I cut the years. The porous market, sir. Right now, porous market, a dump. The first time a dump it turned out.
Well, bring it to the attention of the councillor and the mayor and the MP. Use the opportunity now that they're likely to be coming to look for votes. Use the opportunity now to get that in. We have to leave it there for now. All right, take care. Bye-bye. You too. All the best for the rest of the season and beyond. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. There's more in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus,
they need to change this. You don't download on the Google Play Store. You don't download on the Google Play Store. You download from
where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online. May happy memories of your loved ones comfort you during difficult times. Power 106 FM and JNN now join TVJ and Radio Jamaica in offering death announcements and memorials 5 times daily to suit your schedule and budget. For more information and to book death announcements and memorials, contact us at 876-926-110029.
Mighty love has He, just for you and for me. I'm so glad to see it is His birthday. Oh, it's His birthday. Happy birthday to you. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Jesus was born today, born in a manger.
And even as we continue to celebrate the season, there are still areas of concern. Here we go again. Kingston woman charged for allegedly stabbing brother in the neck. A 42-year-old office attendant has been charged with wounding with intent for allegedly stabbing her brother in his neck. Deborah Thompson of Kintyre Close, Kingston 6, was charged on Tuesday. The Papine police say about 9:30 a.m. on November 5, Thompson and the complainant were at home when an argument developed which became physical. During the altercation, Thompson allegedly used a knife to stab her sibling in his neck. Oh, God. The police were summoned and he was taken to hospital where he was admitted in serious condition. Come on now. We have to do better than this. We have to do better than this. Also making the news, FSC withdraws claim against SSL founder Hugh Croskery. The Financial Services Commission, FSC, has discontinued its claim against Hugh Croskery, founder of the fraud hit Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. Lawyers representing the FSC made the announcement today when the matter came before the Supreme Court. Croskery was the third defendant in the claim. The FSC had claimed that Croskery and other SSL directors breached the FSC's directives by appointing a trustee on January 16, a day before the FSC took temporary management of the investment firm. However, Croskery, in his defense, filed by King's Counsel Peter Champagny and attorney at law Neku Pagan, claimed that his association with the company had never at any point involved any conduct on his part that would be a breach of his responsibilities as a director or be a breach of any regulatory legislation, civil or otherwise. Croskery and several other directors were named as defendants in the suit, which was filed in January. Champagny says Croskery is obviously relieved and very much comforted by this outcome. Our client regards his sterling reputation within the financial sector, which he has developed over a number of decades. The case was discontinued without any orders as to costs, and this was agreed upon by the respective parties, he told the Gleaner. The FSC, which regulates investment houses, argued in court documents that the defendants were refusing to cooperate effectively, hindering the claimant, FSC, in carrying out its functions, and the appointment of the trustee will have serious repercussions for clients. If this were allowed to happen, the claimant anticipates that the first defendant's SSL clients will not recover their funds and or assets if the company is dissolved, said Donia Fuller Barrett, an attorney at FSC. The trustee, Cadion Campbell, has insisted that he was properly appointed, which, if accepted by the court, would dislodge the FSC's role. The trial is set for February next year. Former SSL wealth advisor Jean Ann Panton is the only person charged in the alleged $5 billion fraud that includes money fleeced from sports legend Usain Bolt. So that's another of the stories trending on the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. You can listen up for major news at 5 for more. And JCF gets 3,000 e-ticketing handsets. That's another of the stories trending right now. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon, David Crosburn. Welcome.
Thanks kindly for your welcome. Good afternoon to you and all your listeners in this Advent season.
Indeed.
Said may the season in which the Son of God became the Son of Man, that us, the Son of Man, can become the Son of God. I was listening to the historical notes where you make mention of the Jamaica Journal. I was so taken aback that it was only started in 1968. I thought it was long before that because I got 3 copies. And I can only put my hand on one. And that was in June 1971. They're very interesting, very and beautifully well laid out and everything.
Sounds like you have a budding superstar in the background there. Sounds like she sings very well.
Yeah, she just coming from her dance class. You know, you have the young ones around you, the next generation.
I see. So she's doing plie and relevé and point, flex and point. Yeah, I used to do a bit of that.
Yeah, she do ballet and so, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, the next generation one. I'm so happy for them. They're there. I have 4 in Ghana, you know.
4?
A twin and 2 more. And 2, yeah.
You've been very productive, Mr. Crosby.
Yeah, those are grandchildren. They called me from there and serenaded me on my birthday.
Yeah, but they had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it was so wonderful to hear them sing, and they sing in Spanish and so on, you know, on my birthday.
Oh, lovely.
They put me on cloud9. Indeed. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we were talking about the Jamaica Journal.
Yes.
That's so a wonderful production from the Institute of Jamaica. The one that's out for 1971, June 1971. It have a lot of beautiful articles, and one with a cane stalk. I don't know if you remember passing the cane field and see what we used to call it cane flag, you know, but they breed the varieties away from that now. So you don't see it now because of deliberate breeding developments. Normally it would come up in about November, but it's not around now. It's rare. Or maybe on the hillsides, and so you'll see a cane stalk in November with the shoots and like a flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're in that journal. Is inside that journal now. They mention about the battle of renewal.
Mm-hmm. Rio Nuevo.
Renewal, yeah. And that they ordered 10 pounds of brimstone and 14 pounds of saltpeter. It's in the November 1971 journal, June. So that was what the British employed to win that battle of 1660. But to you and the listeners, our wonderful season continue to be strong and upward. We just need to, as Neville, an early caller, was saying, on your program, take what you want, leave what you don't want. You don't need to be caustic against anyone.
That's right.
Because we all share different thoughts, different likings, different aspirations. But it comes together to make our country stronger. And I have no doubt in my mind that as a country, as a people, we are special and very unique. Because when I listen to even the nuggets that is it Mr. McNair sent from Canada, they are so solid and informative, and we can learn so much because history is not as we have learned in school or we are privileged to. Because take for example, when I found out that 2 sugar factories was established on the compound, well, not on the compound, but the lands, the Mona estate was really 4,000 acres. So 2 factories were there. And I have been around the university and so on, all from in the mid-70s with and courses and so on. And at no time did I get that knowledge that factories were existing there. You know, so we have to learn from each other, and history as we know it is not just one source. It comes from many, many sources, and you now have to put it together and figure from it, you know, not one source. Because take what is up.
All right, hold on. Yes, we need to take a break, and let's come back and wrap. One moment, please.
In a manger. And though he was young, they say he was no stranger.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. May the true meaning of the holiday season fill your heart and home with many blessings as you celebrate faith, family, and the joy of giving. That's the wish for you and your family from the management and staff of Caribbean Chemicals, the leading manufacturers and distributors of insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Caribbean Chemicals, 2 East Ashenheim Road, Kingston, wishing you a bright and joyous holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Jesus was born today, born in a
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:30. ¿Quelle heure est-il en français? Well, the time just changed. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h moins 29. 现在几点了？5点差29分。29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework? Yes, young people, we know you're on holiday, but you know what we always say, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And to the parents and guardians listening to us this afternoon on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. And speaking of check up, at 28 minutes to 5 o'clock, have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Mr. David Crosburn has been sharing his thoughts and ideas with us online. Thanks for holding, Mr. Crosburn. We're back with you.
Yeah, thanks a million. And just to add one to your, I'll add it already, but just to refresh the minds. My uncle, his name was Nicholas Dunn. He said to me, whatever you read, you understand. Whatever you understand, you remember. And I took that challenge on, you know, and it did rich dividend in my life. And now that's a good pointer for young people, you know, what you read, try and understand it. What you understand, you remember it. On the Palestinian-Israeli war, just something that came to my attention. It goes way back to AD 185, and one of the actors at that time in AD 185, his name was Paul something, but he was the one who actually the name Palestine coined from, meaning land of the Philistine. So it really goes back many centuries, and you see all from all those times come right up. That matter has not been settled from over 2,000 years. So it's a journey, and we can just choose that part of the journey and add to it and make a better world as we see it. Thanks a lot, all the very best, and to you and the listeners for all the seasons.
Thank you very much. The very same to you and your family.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We're told that the word Palestine derives from the Greek word Philistia, Philistia, which dates to ancient Greek writers' descriptions of the region in the 12th century BC. In AD 135, following a failed Jewish revolt, Roman Emperor Hadrian, Hadrian, expelled the Jews from Jerusalem and decreed that the city and surrounding territory be part of a larger entity called Syria Palestina. Palestina took its name from the coastal territory of the ancient Philistines, enemies of the Israelites, ancestors of the Jews. The English term Palestine itself derives from the Latin Palestina, Palaestina, which in turn derives from the Koine Greek I'm not familiar with Greek and Hebrew, but from the Koine Greek, the pronunciation there, I would have to learn it. Palestine. It's the spelling gives you an idea. First attested in the 5th century BCE. So in short, the word Palestine derives from the Greek Philistia, Philistia, which dates to ancient Greek writers' descriptions of the region in the 12th century BC. In AD 135, following a failed Jewish revolt, Roman Emperor Hadrian, Hadrian, expelled the Jews from Jerusalem and decreed that the city and surrounding territory be part of a larger entity called Syria Palestina. Palestina took its name from the coastal territory of the ancient Philistines, enemies of the Israelites, ancestors of the Jews. The English term Palestine itself derives from the Latin Palestina, which in turn derives from Koine Greek, first attested in the 5th century BCE. Let's take another call here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, we're reading, boy, there's so much things going, significant issues going on in the world. The Pope Eddie. And boy, in America, it's a storm probably just like in Jamaica, you know, people say it's unbiblical. You know, read the chapters, people know them, Romans 1, Romans 2, you know. The things cannot be right or wrong with the church is the church, the Bible. That's why, you know, the Revelation tell us about these things in the month. And these days, wars, tribulation, 666, you know. The Reverend Strickland, who against those things say no. That's the one that the Pope let go and one postponed for life. Catholic bishop, you know, it's like you're almost a politician than a pope. That's what they're saying, left-leaning, which is not usually referred to pope. And then we have the Trump issue there, but they one of the people that's anti-democratic. It's man of guilty of crime, you know.
Yeah, well, that's something that can be tested. That's something that can be tested in the court, in a court of law, and perhaps that's what they will do.
They got to be all small country now, San Salvador, etc. Presidents calling, say, America putting its democracy in question.
Yes, I can understand that. It's just like when Donald Trump was starting, when he was starting his campaign, and people were saying, boy, they don't know about this, and so on and so forth, and because of his general comportment, let's just put it that way, because of his comportment, how he carries himself, how he expresses himself, people naturally would who frown on that kind of behavior would naturally look in another direction. But
it's a politics, American politics. They try to. It's not what the person really is. It's what politics train the person to be, and many people are misled by it from the real person. But it's what American politics. President Biden having his own problems. His son Hunt and them trying to impeach him too. That's there's so many significant issues. You get what I'm saying?
Hear you.
To impeach him, and they're doing the thing now, 221 to 212. That is not just. And Peterson getting in real trouble, like, you know, and they say in America, no, the two-tier justice, which I told you about. They, out of Navarro, even the guy that failed to testify in Congress, some big friend, yes, Roger Stone or something like that, they got charged with contempt for court for not turning up for contempt and get time for not turning up when Sofino to test. Remember, Dan Jr. testified for nearly 40 days, you know, when they were saying Russia. So they must have been the son against special treatment. No, that don't go down well with the American public, whether Democrat or Republicans are no vote, you understand?
It will all come out in the wash ultimately.
Yeah, man, in America, you know. We tell you what, I'm going to get bigger, Revelation times, and Jamaica, EOT alone responsible to change constituency board again. That come off from North Wrigley now, wrangling between Michael Manley and Siaga, no, PMP team and JLP, so therefore I'm EOJ. So when JLP now, unilaterally, as Mr. Jackson say, as a government, with a majority that came from election with no campaign, where Dr. PC resigned earlier, or contribute to the what they call it apathy. When people were afraid of COVID, at least run your program, all them time during them time, because you are participate. So God put more them, I said, they now go vote, they no one catch COVID, brother, ran it them too and so forth, you know. So it end up with a lopsided result that you can use an election that didn't run like 2016, 2012, 207, 202, and so to judge apathy when none of the side really get out there and did their traditional house to house group meeting, spot meeting, all about big meeting, some job square parade, grassroots, you know.
Well, we get the
Town
point.
square and them things, the real motivational thing didn't really went out there. You get what I'm saying?
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, man, and Dervan metal is thing that we are going to the world. It includes that metal. What me tell about University of Noah. Want to make us understand you can't tell life and judge. But this me a letter again, I can't done. That money have to go for carrying a federal center to keep alive. And every letter they write is a letter about themselves, not doing justice. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, my late mother would say, based on how you're expressing yourself, it's 10 things in one. And all right, let's leave it here for now, because you're off the track now. You have run off the track. Hello, you have run off the track. All right, thanks for the call. He's not listening. Bye bye. Goodness, like a runaway train. That took a while to stop. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Jesus was born today.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one program. Farm Talk with Alpha McKenzie. Farm Talk at the Power 106 FM app.
Oh, it's his birthday. Oh, hallelujah.
Speaking of birthday, Natalie Winter in Washington Gardens says, happy birthday to all celebrating birthdays and special occasions, also anniversaries in December. Wishing you well for the rest of the year and hopefully something great in the new year. We join you in conveying those sentiments, Natalie, to all the others who are listening and watching here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We missed a couple of messages yesterday. For example, from Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois. She says, season's greetings, Sir Ambassador Malcolm. Please say hello to Alejandro Thaxter, past student of Titchfield High School and former member of their Schools Challenge quiz team. He received a full scholarship to Virginia, that's Virginia State University, as a result of his outstanding academic achievements. He is currently visiting his family for the holidays. Blessings, says Dr. Dunn from Skokie, Illinois. All the very best. Thanks for sharing that news, that bit of news with respect to the progress of Alejandro Thaxter, past student of Titchfield High School and former member of their Schools Challenge quiz team. All right, let's see what else we have here. Going down the line of messages. We're trying to clear as many of them as possible. Hold on, let's see what we have here. Okay, we got that. And now we're going back to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, Dervan, blessings and progress for the season, my brother. Dervan, for a long time, I have not heard Neville make such a conscious call. Well said, Neville. Imagine if everyone would clean their community and become everyone's neighbor. Teach each one how to love and to live together. Well said. Neville, we need to get involved in the electoral process so we can remove government, whoever that government is. We, the people, are the change, whoever is the government. We should never allow them to continue to govern. Corruption costing the country more than $200 billion a year, coming from the last data, not my word. It's shown that this government led by Andrew Holness is the worst government when it comes to corruption. I'm Salah from Kingston. Thank you very much, Salah from Kingston, for your message. This one says, good afternoon, Dervan. Happy Christmas to my mother, Madge Rattray, who tune into your program every day. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Yolanda in Manchester. Good to hear from you, Yolanda in Manchester. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. With all the billions spent to train the police force, is this the new training being executed by the police? There's no professionalism in how they approach or speak to the citizens. We demand better treatment from the police. Have you been able to report the matter, though, Cuban in Georgia? And where did this happen? On foreign soil or back home here in Jamaica? Please give us some more information on that. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go to the text line, which we hardly ever go to. That's not good. The text line says, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wishing you and your listeners a Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year. And this is from K. Dean. Thank you, K. Dean. Same to you. Many happy returns to you and yours. And let's see who else is on our radar. Oh dear. This person says, where is it? The phone, this came in yesterday, the 19th. Today is the 20th. The phone the Rasta attack with, a white man make it. I think this was for Ras Lloyd, who called us yesterday. Thank you for your message. All the best. And another one that came in yesterday. Good evening, Mr. Dervan. I'm sure you meant Dervan. This is the elderly lady who had called and texted about my USA pension on Friday the 15th. I went back today and the supervisor wants me to wait 31 days. I went straight to the manager's office. He told me 40 days. I carried on and demanded something in writing for the 40 days to go on the radio. and I was not leaving without my money. Thank God I got it, and I'm home. Thanks to everyone's help. From E. Mushet. Well, more power to you, power to the people. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. There comes a time when we have to stand up and do what we have to do. And this one says, Dervan, you asked earlier about Dr. Alec Gross of the Hungarian who started the Jamaica Journal. He was a leading person in the cultural affairs of the Institute of Jamaica between about 1962 and 1970 or 71. He also hosted a regular radio program on your station, Radio Jamaica. That is between 1963 and 1965. Thank you very much, Franklin McDonald, for helping us to corroborate the information that we shared earlier. And so we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's see what we can leave you with. A couple more nuggets. For the horse racing fans, apprentice George Hosang ended the day at Caymanas Park with 2 wins on Lincoln's Inn and Out Yonder to bring his number of firsts closer to the century mark in a single season. 4 days earlier, he established a record for the highest number of winning races in a season by a jockey when he reached 93. The government of Jamaica in 1974 entered into a partnership with Revere Jamaica Alumina Company, acquiring 51% controlling ownership. Revere remained in charge of the operations of the company on a no-fee management arrangement. The capacity of the plant at Magotty in St. Elizabeth would be expanded by 341,000 tons from the then present 230,000 tons, of which Revere would use 117,000 tons, and the rest would be taken by a Japanese consortium. Hello to Carol Guntley, wherever you are. Good afternoon to you. On this day in 1974, Carol Guntley was appointed Assistant Sales Manager of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston. In 1973, she was awarded the Pringle Scholarship to pursue studies in hotel management at the Ryerson Polytechnical Institute in Toronto, Canada, where she obtained a Bachelor in Applied Arts in Hotel and Tourism Management. 1976, here's another reminder that we love Christmas elections in Jamaica. 1976, on this day, the 20th of December, 1976, the Manley-led PNP again won a general election, this time by a landslide 47-13 seat victory over the JLP. Michael Manley was sworn in as Prime Minister for a second term, following the victory at the polls by the People's National Party 5 days earlier. And election was in the air again in 1997. The Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, tempered its pre-election call for the resignation of Director of Elections Danville Walker. I'm not starting a Fire Walker campaign, JLP General Secretary Edmund Bartlett told the Gleaner. And it goes on. Listen, we're almost out of time. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today. Wednesday, the 20th of December 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Jesus was born today. Yes, born in a manger. Though he was young, they say he was no stranger. No stranger, yeah. Jesus was born today. Sing a song. Born in a manger. In a manger, yeah. Though he was young, they say he was no stranger. He was no stranger. Jesus was born today, born in a manger. Born today. Though he was young, they say he was no stranger.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Good afternoon. I am Dervan Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines today, Wednesday, December 20, 2023. PMP Councillor calls for audit into how government funds are being spent in the constituency of Southeast St. Catherine. FSC discontinues case against Hugh Crosby, founder of fraud hit investment firm SSL. Court of Appeal frees cop who had been serving a life sentence for the 2010 murder of his teenage girlfriend. Police encouraging business operators to invest in security of their establishments to combat organized armed robberies. In business news, motorists to pay more at the pumps going into the Christmas holiday. The discussion segment of Beyond the Headlines with Dion Jackson Miller comes up after this newscast. The news is brought to you by Flo's Christmas and a Flash Sale.
Bye.